Hello fellow makeup lovers, how are you guys doing today? So I am pretty excited for this video because I'm going to be talking about one of my favorite things in makeup, my most recent obsession. It's such a small detail, but I feel like it can completely change your look, and it is inner corner highlighting shades. I just love a very bright, popping, unique inner corner. You can kind of tell today I've got a nice light blue going on and some glitter. And I don't know, it just makes me so happy, and I feel like it completes so many looks. And even if I'm doing something super boring, I just love to have something incredibly metallic on my inner corner, or with a beautiful shift or a duochrome. I just love it so much. So I asked y'all, I think it was on Instagram a few months ago, if you would like to see this video, and so many people said yes. I'm excited that you guys are excited about this idea. So I have some single shadows to talk about that you can purchase individually, and then I also have some shadows that I'm gonna single out from different palettes, some liquid shadows, some highlighter palettes, some actual highlighters. So let's just go ahead and jump on in. So starting off, I really enjoy using different highlighter palettes for my inner corner shades, and I actually have a full video on duochrome highlighting palettes, and I will leave that in the cards right here in case you're interested and you want to see. I don't think I did swatches of each palette, but I think I just talked through them and my feelings and which ones I like the best. So I just figured I would mention specifically for inner corner highlighters, I think these are my absolute favorite. It would be the Anastasia Glow Kits, the Moonchild and the Aurora. The Moonchild I do like. It's nice, and I do use it every once in a while. I think that these make beautiful inner corner highlighters. My favorite one is Lucky Clover, this metallic green shifting one. But I am such a sucker for the Aurora palette. If you can find this, I truly recommend it so much. I have broken two shades in here. I think I broke this one, and then this one I broke before, and then I was on a vacation and I actually dropped it and broke it again. And luckily the shadows are so soft that I was able to just press it down without having to use any alcohol or anything. But I love this palette so much. I reach for it constantly. I love this shade right here called Helia. I use that so much. It's like a green with a gold shift, and then there's, what are you? It's Eclipse right here, which is like the most beautiful, like white pinky champagne shift. Just stunning. So I definitely really love these. You do have to pack them on a little bit. They are more on the subtle side until you want to really load up your brush, perhaps spray your brush, and you'll get what you want out of these two. So I love those, and also some others, but I just figured I'd mention the top ones, specifically the Aurora palette is just my favorite. Alright, so next I have two single highlighters to mention, and these are actually the same size as eyeshadows because they are like mini highlighters, and this is from the brand Velavante Cosmetics, which is a pretty new indie brand. I think they launched somewhere between the mid and like the end of 2018, somewhere around there. And I was excited to try out their highlighters. I think that these are like $5 each or something, but they're always doing sales. And I just have to say how much I love them. This one right here is Opal and Hopeful. Oh my gosh, I think it's actually picking up on camera. It's like a white with an incredible blue purple shift to it. Yeah, I would say mostly blue. And these are just so good. Let me stop. I don't like these as much for highlighting on the face. They don't really do it for me, but something about the texture, I love how these look on the inner corner. You can see it just looks metallic, and the shift is so beautiful. I think the reason why I love these so much is because you can truly see the shift even on camera. Like, I posted these on Instagram as my inner corner highlighters, especially the other one, Amethyst, is my favorite. And it's crazy how beautiful these show up in pictures. This one is Amethyst. You can see this one has a true like pinky purple reflect, and it's that same super metallic formula. Yeah, they're just beautiful. So that's Opal and that's Amethyst, and I love the size of these as well because, like I said, I don't really prefer these on the face. They're okay, but they don't, I don't know how to explain it. I just don't love them as face highlighters, but on the inner corner, I love these. And especially like if you're someone who does like pictures of your makeup and you like your inner corner duochrome to show really well, I think that these just photograph beautifully. So now for some single shadows, I just threw them in my ColourPop palette, and this is what they look like right here. So I'll just pull them out one by one. This first one I have to mention because it's a little bit more sentimental, I think. This is the shade Shimma Shimma from Makeup Geek, and you can see, like, I'm so close to hitting pan on this. Actually, I feel like I can almost see like a little dot of pan. Like, I swear if I use this like 3 more times, I'm gonna hit pan. I love this. This was my first inner corner highlighter shade, and I was so excited to buy this because whenever Makeup Geek, before she became Makeup Geek and the brand and stuff, she would always say, let's pop a little shimma shimma in the inner corner, and she's the one who taught me to highlight my inner corner, so I just had to mention Shimma Shimma. It is a beautiful, like, pinky champagne. It's not super light on me in that way, like it's not highlighting in tone, but it is super metallic. It builds up really well. It looks so beautiful underneath the brow bone. I personally love a good brow bone highlight. I know a lot of people are over that, but I'm not. Alright, so the next one I have to mention is Amy Heart's Beauty Ghost, and you can see this is a beautiful green shift, and it's super metallic and soft and like just a good shadow all around. See, there's what it looks like. It just reflects light beautifully. I love this. This was actually limited edition, and she brought it back and made it permanent, which made me so, so happy. The thing is, like, I used to love, and I still do like it, Sydney Grace. They have different mist shades. I still recommend them. I think that they're nice, but specifically their green mist, I used to be obsessed with that one, but this one is even more metallic, so I find myself reaching for Ghost instead. So there's what that one looks like. It just has such a beautiful green shift. I mean, you guys can see it. Like, these are actually showing up on camera for me today. So I love Ghost. All right. The next one is another green, and this is one of my more interesting favorites, but this is Touch of Glam Beauty Spearmint, and I was so excited to try this one. I just think it is so, so beautiful, and it's definitely a true mint shade. So this is, you know, if you're a little bit more daring, I really love this one on the inner corner. I just think it is stunning. I think it would be beautiful as an inner corner highlight with the look that I have on today. So there you can see. It doesn't have a shift or anything. It's just a beautiful metallic mint. Okay, the next one that I have to mention is a highlighter, but I just included it in here because you can buy it in an eyeshadow size. And this is Rhinestone Color from Kitten Boss Cosmetics. They're the cutest brand. They're all focused on cats, but you can see this is beautiful. It's a super light, cool tone highlighter. The thing that makes this special is that it is almost kind of transparent, and it's just made up of sparkle. Hopefully you can see that. It is really beautiful. Definitely something you want to pack on more carefully. You could use it with a wet brush or something, but I love this because I feel like I can put it over any other highlighter. Hopefully you can see there. And it just makes everything sparkle and glitter. It's not super messy. I mean, like I said, you might want to wet your brush and be a little bit more on the careful side, but I think it is stunning. Like, you can see the sparkle. So just imagine adding that on top of anything else. It is very, very beautiful. I will admit I have not tried using it as an actual highlighter. It'd probably be pretty as a topper. I couldn't see using it by itself for that, but on the inner corner, it's not something I use alone, but I use it to top other shadows, and it just bumps them up to another level. Alright, so the next shadow that I'm going to talk about is currently discontinued, but I promise I'm not cruel. I've heard that it is in the works to come back. So this is the JD Glow Cosmetics Prismatic Galaxy Shadow. Look at that. This is probably one of the most unique eyeshadows that I have. It completely shifts from a green to a blue, and it is just so stunning. This shadow on the inner corner is literally everything. Like, that shift, it's just crazy. So there's what it looks like. It is like, it probably looks very strange. Like, you wouldn't see that and think like, yeah, that's the perfect shade for your inner corner. But I promise it just ends up looking so beautiful. And it has the coolest duochrome to it. So that is one of my all-time favorites, and I'm just like, I cannot wait until it returns and you guys can buy it if you're interested in it, because it is beautiful and I love the JD Glow formula. I have a full video on all my shadows from them, swatching them and giving a review, so I will leave that in the cards here in case you're interested. So those are the single ones that I wanted to mention, and they're stunning. Alright, so now I have a few different palettes that I just want to mention one specific shade from each of these that I really, really love and just always find myself pulling for. So most of these are Juvia's place. The first is the Tribe palette, which is their newest one. It just looks like this. And this shade here, like, I thought it was a boring white, but it is not. Like, I've been in love with it since the first time I used it. It's almost like a very light gold with a light green reflect. It's very unique. Can you tell that I like greens? Like, all of these are green, but seriously, like, it is so beautiful. I don't know how much the shift is showing up on my camera for me, but this on the inner corner is stunning and it just makes me happy. The next one I want to mention is the Douce palette from Juvia's place, which is a really beautiful color scheme. It just looks like this, and I love the shade Tarte right here. It's a light pink with a really bright pink reflect to it. Like, look at that. I love it. I will actually mention, just because we're already in this palette, I do also really like this shade right here called Puffs. I'm a sucker for a good inner corner pink highlighter, and this one is just incredibly metallic. Next is the Masquerade palette from Juvia's place. This was my first Juvia's palette. This was the one that started it all. And my favorite one is definitely this shade Giza right here. I mean, you can probably tell it looks pretty loved. And I love this as an inner corner highlighter and as a face highlighter. I think it is stunning. There's what it looks like. It's just, I mean, it's a light whitish pink shade. And I love this one. I think it's so, so nice. I mean, it is just a really light pink, but I've always found myself gravitating towards that one. And it is also, like I said, just beautiful on the cheekbones. I love using Juvia's place eyeshadows as highlighters. I do it pretty much with every single palette that I have from them. So the last one that I wanted to mention is the Jaclyn Hill palette with Morphe. And I really love this shade right here. I mean, I've definitely dipped into both, but this one is just my favorite, and it's basically, it's supposed to be a dupe for MAC Nylon, which I do own. It's somewhere, but MAC is not cruelty free, so there's what it looks like. I also have a very similar dupe from the Morphe and Kathleenlights palette that they did forever ago. It was very limited edition, which has a dupe for Nylon, which I love as well, but I figured I'd mention this one since it's still available. So there's what it looks like, and I know this is probably the most, like, the least interesting of the bunch that I've talked about, but this is my go-to for a neutral highlighter. I just think it is beautiful, and this is one of those that, like, it might not look much on my hand, but when you put it on the inner corner, it is so incredibly intense. It's crazy. You definitely want to go in with a light hand, especially like if you use this one on the brow bone. It's so good. Last but not least, it wouldn't be me if I didn't talk about some single shadows. So I'll start off with my all-time favorite, which is Crystalline from Pixie. This is so beautiful. I love the Pixie formula, and this particular shade, it's not going to show up on camera the way that I want it to. Like the way that it truly is in real life. It's a white, and it has basically every color in the rainbow sparkles. Like there's blue, there's pink, there's yellow, like there's green. Like you can see everything in this, and it is just so, so beautiful on the inner corner. Sometimes I use it by itself, sometimes I use it to top off other shadows, but I just love this one. And I wanted to mention it next to the Stila Glitter and Glow because this one is very, very similar. It is the shade Perlina, also one of my favorites, but these are practically dupes for each other, and this one's like $24 and I think this one is $15. So, you know, obviously that's the better price point. I figured I'd swatch them just so you can see what they look like. Yeah, there you go. I mean, you can see actually from swatches, it looks like Perlina is just a little bit more opaque, which is probably another reason why I like Crystalline a little bit better, just because I feel like it tops other shadows without changing them. It just adds a rainbow glitter on top. So I really love this. It's like a pastel rainbow glitter. It is just stunning. Both of these are beautiful. So next, I have another Glitter and Glow liquid shadow from Stila, and this is Diamond Dust, which is definitely more on the cool tone side. You can see it there. It's more of like a silver. Oh my gosh, the sparkles in that one are beautiful too. So I don't reach for this one as much because I don't do as many cool tone looks, but it is definitely a really, really beautiful inner corner highlighter, and I love it. I love it, love it, love it. And then my favorite Glitter and Glow from Stila is actually one of their Glitter and Glow highlighters. It's the bigger size. You can see the difference. And I'm not sure if this is considered eye safe. I don't know what the deal is on that, but I have used it on my inner corner a lot and never had a reaction, and I do consider myself to have more sensitive eyes, just in case you're curious. So this is the shade Monarch, and oh my gosh. It is just beautiful. It is just a super light pink, and it has like a shift of like a pink and a green sparkle to it, and I just love this one on the inner corner so, so much. It is beautiful. I find myself reaching for this one the most, which is actually really convenient since it is a giant size. So this is something I'm going to be using forever, it feels like. Luckily, I was able to get this whenever Stila had... It was like a glitch on their site, and I got it 50% off, so I only paid $15 for it. It would be a little bit crazy to pay full price, but I think it is beautiful. Last but not least, I have another drugstore option, and this is the Wet n Wild Megalast Liquid Catsuit eyeshadow in the shade Pure Intention, which just looks like this. It was a limited edition collection, but I'm still mentioning it just in case anyone sees it and is able to get their hands on it because it's such a great price, and it's a really beautiful shadow. I just realized that almost all of these are pink. Jeez, they look the same. What the heck, Amy? So there's all the shades there. This one is less glittery, but if you love a good metallic inner corner, it's still a beautiful option. It does have tiny little flecks of gold glitter through it, but it's not as much as the others, but it's still really, really beautiful. I really enjoy this formula. I do have a full video on all the different shades of this, which I can leave in the cards as well here. If I remember, I have a lot of cards to do. So it's kind of funny that all of these ended up looking so similar, but I really love all these liquid shadows, and I think that they're all pretty beautiful. If you want to top other shadows, just whatever you want to do, I think adding a little extra glitter to the inner corner is fun. I have different ones that I use for different occasions, like different shades, but these are the ones that I use the absolute most. Like, for example, today I'm using the Too Faced Ice Queen one on my inner corner mixed with an actual shadow, and I think it looks beautiful, but this isn't one I reach for all the time, so I didn't want to mention it, but these ones I just love. So to finish off this video, I definitely got a few different questions from y'all about my tips for inner corner highlighting, what I have to say, and honestly, I'm not that particular. I use different brushes. Sometimes I wet my brush, sometimes I don't. The way I like to do it is I add it to the middle, and then I slowly, like as there's less product, I kind of blend it out to the other shades. I'm not going to show it right now or insert any clips just because I do it in nearly every single tutorial and look that I do, in case you want to see the way that I like to do it. Although I will say my tip for doing a really fun inner corner is that I always try to keep the inner corner lighter than whatever's happening on the lid. I mean, I've done it differently, like I did a really bright pinky coral inner corner and then just a neutral brown. I think that's beautiful as well, but overall my style, I prefer, like, this is a darker shade on my lid, so even though this blue is not like the lightest blue ever, I still think it looks flattering because it's lighter than everything else that's going on. That's kind of how I like to do it. So you know, if you have like a medium toned gold or something, I still think that could be a beautiful inner corner. If maybe you're doing like a really rich brown or bronze smoky eye that's a little bit darker and then you add the gold, I think that's really beautiful. I think that's a fun way to do it. So like I said, I do fun inner corners all the time in my videos, so I'm sure you are okay, I'm tired. So I'm sure that you see that all the time, but I just figured I'd mention really quickly, that's basically my go-to tip, is that whatever's here is lighter than everything else. But it doesn't necessarily have to be super pale. with the inner corners, like I would prefer a palette to be more versatile and to work for everyone. So I've learned to kind of adapt and find colors that I wouldn't normally expect, and a lot of times I end up loving them. So I think that's everything that I have to say for this video. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave them down below. Also, I would love to hear what your favorite inner corner highlighter is, if it's just a single in a different palette or a glitter shadow or anything. I would love to hear your thoughts, or if it's a regular highlighter. I also really enjoy putting Ofra's Pillow Talk on my inner corner. Normally whenever I use it for my face, I also end up putting in my oh my gosh, what is wrong with me? I'm so tired. My inner corner as well. Okay, I think that's enough talking for me. I will see y'all in the next one. Bye.